Okay, now that we have gotten our building blocks, we have the footprint that we need for this device, and we have the symbol that we need for this device. It's time to go ahead and actually make the device. So we just go up to the devices icon, say that we want a new device. In this case, we're going to call this the same name as the symbol that we use because it's very specific. It's not a requirement that you have the same name. You might have the symbol for a 2-input AND gate would have a different device name if you had a 74F02 or a 74LS54. So you can have different device names than your symbol name. In this case, there's a 1-for-1 match between the two. So I have this, create this new device. Yes, I want to create it, and I bring up this template that looks very much like the one we began with, where we had everything laid in there for us when we were looking at what the building blocks were. To put a new symbol in here. We treat this area very much like a schematic, where we can just come in here and look for a new part. The only symbol that we've got is that one right now. So we go ahead and drop that into here. Say we've defined the symbol for this device. We need to now add the footprint. So we come into here, say we want to add a new local package. I want to go with the 28-pin pack that we created. I say OK, that's listed in there. I can go ahead and save. This is where I would add different variants if I were going to have them, the surface mount, things like that, but we're not worrying about that for this part. We're only going to worry about the through hole. So I've now defined the symbol and I've defined the footprint for the part. I have still not done anything to connect the different pins on the symbol with specific pins on the device. If you remember, we didn't put a pin number on any of these. Now is the time that I need to do that. It's also what I see here, this little warning sign says that I haven't made that connection. So I go over here to connect. When I pull that up, this has listed here for me the different labels on my pin. This has the different pads, and I need to connect those two together. I have a picture from a data sheet of what I want this to look like. So as an example, I'm just going to go through here and make these connections. Remember those two VDD pins? Well, that first one, this VDD, that's actually pin 13. So I pick pin 13 and I say I'm going to connect those. And then I go along and get the rest of them. I get the next VDD. That happens to be pin 28, and I connect those. And I just continue on through picking up all of my pins. Whether it's easier to go around by the pins or pick up and match each one really doesn't matter. For instance, the master clear is pin 1, so I can start up with that, and I can go through. I know that the AN1 is not really sure where that's located, so I'll find it someplace. Oh, that's actually pin 3, so I'll connect that, and I'll shut off the video while I go through and make the rest of these connections. If as you're assigning these you end up putting one in the wrong place, you can always take that, disconnect it, put it back on the list. In this case I didn't make mistakes, so I'll put it back again, and I say okay, I've got this all defined, and you notice that this changes to green, telling me I've already got this connected up now. So I have the alignment now between the pins here and the pins here. If you zoom in, you notice now that on the symbol the actual numbers have been assigned. All that's left for me now to do is to save that, and when I go back over here I see I now have a device. That device is made up of that symbol that I created and the footprint that I created, the 28 pin. So that's all done. I can close my, so now I can come back into this blank frame that has nothing on it. And now when I want to add a part, if I look in the tools library, pick this part, the only one in there that I just made, drop this in place, and I see that I have indeed created the PIC microprocessor that previously did not exist. Again, notice the name showed up in here. It's got this showing its first value, here's my VDD, here's my ground. Notice again, this doesn't say @ sign, this doesn't say @ sign, but I have my options, and notice again the grouping is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The pin numbers are not what I use to orient things. What I'm actually doing is grouping it by functionality.